Memories with Meg. Meg! A few years ago, my brother moved his family up to Seattle, Washington to do summer sales. For those of you that don't know, Seattle, Washington is the place where the sun never shines. Like in the movie/book Twilight, it's where the vampires go because they can live in the sunlight without living in the sunlight. Why am I talking about Twilight? In Seattle, it's dark, it's gray, and it rains. Summer sales. So while my brother moved up there, he took my nephew with him. Of course, the family's all devastated. He's my only nephew at the time. So we planned a trip to go up to Washington to go see him. On this trip, we decided there were more things to do in Washington than just see my brother. We were going to see the Space Needle, we were going to go to museums, and of course we were going to go fishing. And when I say we, I mean me, my dad, my brother, and my brother's brother-in-law. We were going to have such a great time. Now, to go fishing, we had to catch a boat that was leaving at like 3 in the morning. The place it was leaving from was on the coast, and we were not near the coast because we were just outside of Seattle. It was about a 2-hour drive to get there, so we were leaving at about midnight. Of course, when we leave at midnight, it's pouring rain, it's Seattle, and as we start driving, I cozy up in the back seat for a nice nap. I still remember I was leaning my head against the window in the back seat. I was listening to my iPod. I remember the song I was listening to on my iPod, when all of a sudden, I'm just jerked forward. My seatbelt is cutting into my shoulder, my dad's truck is slamming against the guardrail, and I don't even think we have tires anymore. We hit the guardrail 3 times before we finally skid to a stop. My brother and his friend are out of the car, running back towards what looks like a wreck behind us. Not really sure of what happened myself. I pull out my earbuds and I'm like, Dad. He's still holding the steering wheel and he says, stay in the car. I do as I'm told, trying to piece together exactly what happened, because I've been kind of asleep, as my dad hops out of the car and runs towards the wreck behind us. It's been pouring rain this entire time. Not one to be completely obedient, I do get out of the passenger side to see what happened to our truck, and I'm right. It looks like we drove over the top of a cement barrier and it just gouged out the side of our truck. We don't even really have tires anymore, there's no rim on the front. Apparently what happened was we were driving down the center of the freeway going a reasonable speed for pouring rain. Some other car came up behind us, and sped past us going probably about 80. As he sped past us in the fast lane, the puddles that were formed on the freeway because of all the rain caused him to hydroplane and flip completely around to face our truck. Physics, right? As he turns around and faces our truck, my dad swerves just enough to miss killing him and runs over the top of the car. So instead of running over cement barrier, what we did was we ran over another car. My brother's been back trying to find this other car to see if the passengers are dead, because we just ran over them. Good news is, everybody's fine. We're fine, they're fine. I think the worst that happened is the guy had a broken leg. My dad broke his wrists from holding onto the steering wheel. But what was scary is what could have happened. Where we ran over on the car was like a foot away from the driver's head. And if we had been driving a car instead of a truck, it would have just been a head-on and everyone would have died. I'm lucky to be here. Aren't you guys so glad I am? So that's the story of my first real car crash. Before that, I'd been in several fender benders. You know, like when my friend rear-ended me. This is the only one that almost killed me. So the moral of this story, don't go 80 on the freeway when it's raining. Wear your seatbelt. And I highly recommend driving a truck. We totally did end up going fishing afterwards. Like, they towed the truck away, we got another truck, and continued on our journey. We made the boat, even with the wreck, we made the boat, and proceeded to not catch any fish. I actually remember sleeping on the top of the boat most of the time. Like, my dad was down with my brother and they were like fishing and I was sleeping. I tried to fish, I cast the line out like 5 times and I got bored after not catching anything, so I slept. It was very relaxing on the boat. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.